G'day, this is a little off-the-cuff video to walk you through what's in the first Steam Playtest for CrossOver Roll for Initiative. The main thing I've left out is the endless mode, just to focus on the things that I need more feedback on. But there is a tutorial that you can go through. It's fairly short, and all the other stuff you can access. I'll get to the co-op game at the end of it, but for now I'll show you what's in the main campaign section. These are the game modules. The sci-fi one isn't active because it's not built yet. That's still to come. But the fantasy module is there, but I've only included 3 of the campaigns. There's normally 7 campaigns plus the endless mode. So these ones that are shaded red can't be accessed. But I've left in 3, number 1, number 3 and number 5, to give kind of a progression in difficulty, and that's one of the things I really want to test. Okay, so these number 3 and 5 are locked at the beginning. You've got to reach level 5 in the previous campaigns to unlock it before you can play that one, which shouldn't be too hard to do. So I'll just play one level of the first campaign to give you an idea how the game actually plays, because I'm aware it's quite a bizarre concept for a game, so at least you can see what it's like to play through a level. Character creation, I mean, you can just jump straight in. It rolls up a random character, or you can mess around and choose your race and class and so on. And these are locked. You can unlock them when you earn gems. Gems are persistent across the game module. So for now, I'll just stick with, well, what are we going to do? We'll do an elf, elf rogue. That'll be fine. Those stats, you know what? They're fine. Actually, I'll just re-roll a few. That's always the most fun part of rolling up a character, isn't it? That looks pretty damn good, actually. And you can see down here the different capabilities of the race and class. So, and you can inspect your starting equipment depending on the class that you choose. So spells, weapons, items are single use, although you can have more quantity. So I've got 3 firebombs, each one's a single use. And you can buy those in between levels at the shop. And then down here are mercenaries that we can hire for the the GP that's stated here, and they come out and fight for you. And of course you can inspect your stats, and you can see there if you increase your charisma to 18, you'll get the next tier of bonus there. And armor, I'm starting with some gloves, which is handy. The armor rating is basically the percentage of damage that is reduced by that armor. And durability is a measure of how much it takes the monsters to kill that armor. So we'll accept that character and we go to the campaign map. So obviously this is different for every campaign. They're in different areas. So campaign 3, that's the next one included in the playtest, is set in the Quiet Desert here, and campaign 5 is over here in the Unquiet Sea. Rightio, so get a little bit of story as you travel around the map, and you can jump in and buy stuff from the merchant in between levels. I mentioned gems were persistent. One of the big uses for them is to trade for gold. So if you're struggling with a campaign, you can play through some earlier levels or earlier campaigns, build up some gems, and then in the harder campaign trade them for gold and you can afford better gear. The merchant will offer you gear beyond what you can actually afford, but never more than you can trade a bunch of gems for to purchase. So at the moment I am going to buy something. Let's see, I'll just get this Dapper cap because it sounds pretty cool, and I can't afford anything else, but I've got a bunch of items here anyway, so I don't know if I would have bought these yet. And the other thing on the map is you can hover over the enemies to get their stats. And you see that little skull in the bottom right means they're undead. I call it unliving in the game, so it's suitable for sci-fi and other modules, but that comes into play with some of your weapons will hurt unliving things more. So we'll jump into a game and see how it plays. First thing is, you've got to collect dice to power your weapons. So you can see here, to use this dagger attack, I need 1 d4, so 1 4-sided dice. This dart, I need 1 6-sided dice, and this spell, I need 1 4-sided dice. So I need, what, 6s and 4s. So we'll grab a 6. Can't see any 4s I can grab, but you can grab any dice, obviously, and it builds up your inventory. He's there hitting me, so I better kill him. I can afford my dart, so I'm going to shoot him with the dart. It's poisoning him, but he needs a bit more. Now this guy's hitting me as well. He's poisoned, so he'll tick down. Might be enough to kill him. There's a 4 that's opened up, so now I can use my dagger. And that's an area attack, so it'll hit anything within that circle. And over here you can see I can make a 4 match of dice. If you haven't played match 3 games before, it's pretty simple. You can move any of the... actually, I'll just pause momentarily so they don't kill me. You can move any of the dice in any of the 4 directions, and you have to move it into a spot where it will match 2 other dice at least. So this 10-sided dice here, if I move it down, it'll create a match of 3. And that'll be removed and put into your inventory to cast spells, and then new dice will fill up the tray. So you can see here, and it's actually giving me a hint. Hints pop up now and then. If I move that 8-sided dice down to here, it'll create a match of 4 in a row. And now that will give me extra bonuses, and it will also deliver an attack. 4 matches and 5 matches will deliver basically a wave attack from the dice tray, and it'll hit all the enemies. And 5 matches obviously do more damage, and that damage increases depending on the stage or endless wave that you're on, so it gets stronger throughout the game. And every match of dice you make gives you a little bit of gold, a little bit of experience points to go towards leveling up, and 4 or 5 matches give more. The other match you can do is a cascade, where you make 1 match and the replacement dice make another match automatically without you having to do anything. If you have a cascade of 13 or more dice, it will actually heal you a little bit. So that's really useful to do. So even though you may not need that dice to cast a spell, it's worth making matches, because you could get these cascades or 4 or 5 matches to turn the tide in the battle. So I'm going to do that now, and you'll see this wave attack, boom, and it hit them all for a little bit. Now I do need to get some attacks. This is a ranged attack where you can see the line. It'll hit everything along that line. And if you hit something in the bullseye, it'll do a little extra damage to the thing that's in the bullseye. So you need good aim for those. Okay, see it did an extra, there you go. It does 2 lots of damage to it. Alright, I better get collecting some dice here. Now this is going to create a nice 5 match, and there we go, did some extra damage. Another 4 match will damage him, but I still need my 4 dice. Hit him with a poison dart. Him. Boom. Okay. Here we go, there's a 4 match. Now the spell I have is a special type of spell called a utility, and they actually don't do any damage, but they put status effects on them. And you can see here, these little icons appear. This one means he's weakened, so he'll do half damage, and this one means they're vulnerable, which means their resistance is removed while that icon is on. And you can see their health bar there. So sometimes they have either spell or weapon resistance. When they're vulnerable, they don't. So they're going to get hurt. Yep, and that helped a lot. So you can weaken them up with the cantrip, and then hit them and let that poison do its work. Each spell has a cooldown period, so stronger spells take a while to to cool down, and so you can't cast any other spell while it's cooling down, or any other weapon. So you'll see that little green icon here when I shoot. See it cool down, and now I can shoot again. And these are really weak weapons and spells, so they cool down quite quickly. Get two at once here. Okay. Do a bit more to him. There's a few other tricks and tactics as you play. I don't know how much I'll cover in this. I just wanted to give a real small taster of the action, and it can get quite frantic. So it's frantic enough now. I'm going to call some help out. So here comes my mercenary. And I'm going to weaken these so they don't kill me, because they're about to. And you know what? I'm going to use this firebomb. Boom! So that was handy. I may actually die here because I'm quite low, so maybe I should concentrate on the game a little bit instead of talking. Alright, we're up to the final wave in this level, so I'm going to call my lady out. I'm going to weaken them, and I'll help take that guy down. He was a giant, so obviously he's a lot bigger. But we've got his number. There we go. So at the end of the level you get a bonus for each dice you had remaining in your inventory. That's another reason why it's worth just grabbing dice whenever you can. And I got a gem. A little bit of a story and some really cool artwork. Rightio, so at the end of every stage you get a reward, a choice between a random weapon, spell or mercenary, or some gold. So let's see, what do I want? You can have a look at your sheet to see, well, I'm low on spells, so why don't I grab that spell? And I gained a level. I got enough XP to go up a level, so we can go up one stat. And you see if I increase my dexterity, my weapon cooldown improves. I can get better spell cooldown, or I can get more hit points per level. So I'm going to grab the weapon cooldown for now. And then do I want a weapon, a spell, or a mercenary? I'm going to grab a mercenary. And it's a roguish duo. So you can see, does that complement what I already have? Not necessarily. So I'm going to grab the gold instead. And then you go on to the second level. So I'll end that part of it here. You've probably got a good idea how it all works now. And I'll just briefly cover the co-op. Co-op is something I really want some feedback on. You can choose whether to play as the sheet, or as the dice. So obviously the dice player controls all the dice. It can make those cascade matches that actually do attacks and heal you, and they also have an extra thing here. If they get a high enough stock of dice, they can burn a bunch of them to do a big wave attack. So there's a fair bit for the dice player to do. They can also act as sort of a navigator. They can inspect the weapons and items and see what they all do, and then give hints to the sheet player of what they should be doing next. They can also inspect, the enemies and call out targets, and of course the sheet player controls everything on the sheet. So all the weapons, attacks, items, hiring the mercenaries, and so on. So if you want to play the dice, you have to join somebody else's lobby. If you want to play the sheet, you're actually hosting the game, so you're creating the lobby. And you can choose what game module and what scenario you want to play. So these are all specially made co-op scenarios where you have a set character and set items and so on, and you've got to complete that level. Or you can play the endless mode, which just goes forever, and you're aiming for a high score on the online leaderboards. So basically you choose the one that you want. You can choose to limit the lobby to have only friends can see it. or the general public. Open the lobby. You can invite a friend to play, or just wait for a for another player to join in, and it will let you know. And then you just start it up, basically. You'll also, once someone joins, you'll get a text chat up here and a button to activate voice chat as well. And that is basically it. I hope you enjoy the playtest and looking forward to your feedback. Thank you.